Hey, it's Damon, and welcome to the Level Up. In this video, we're going to be talking about creating a new view that aligns with the ideal self, the true authentic self that we discussed in the last lesson. So in this lesson, what we're going to be talking about first is habit genesis and really the construct and purpose of habits, how they are used within our life and how we have grown to use them in order to survive. Then we're going to be talking about clearing your vision and being able to remove distractions so that way you can go ahead and persist through to achieving your goals. So habit genesis. So I want you to really just take a 30-foot thousand look at us as human beings at the very root and core of who we are. What we know how to do best is survive. We have this fight or flight trigger within ourselves that is always going to be working to keep us moving, keep us alert, keep us alive. So when you understand that, understand that the brain is simply just an organ that has ones and zeros. Obviously, we can do more. We have consciousness, but at the very root, our brain has ones and zeros. It's just looking to thrive. It's looking to survive. And understand that the brain and the ego combine to keep us alive, right? So you can now imagine that, we have this organ in ourself that just keeps us up, keeps us alert, keeps us doing what we do. And then we have this part of our consciousness, i.e., the ego, that combines with the brain to keep us alive, keep us identifying with reality. So that way we stay cognizant, that way we stay conscious about what's going on around us. So I really want you to start seeing how we are mending and meshing together, our lesson from last time and this one right here, and that we're just building up who we think we are, and that way we can go ahead and write exactly who we want to become. So understand that the brain optimizes for ones, and this drives dopamine. So the ones in this case are going to be anything that the brain finds to be pleasure, and the zeros in this case would be anything that the brain finds to be painful. So what dopamine is, and why the brain wants a bunch of dopamine and why it wants these ones, is it's a neurotransmitter that interacts with the pleasure and reward center of our brain. So anything that our mind thinks is really good, that aids our identity, that is in line with our current identity, it's going to keep wanting to do that thing over and over and over again. So, this can correlate with activities that are very high in dopamine rushing, such as, being on social media. This could be listening to music, eating really, good food, whatever the case may be. Your brain's going to keep wanting to do these things because it's pleasure, it's pleasure, it's pleasure, versus, touching, a hot stove or jumping, doing skydiving or something like that, right? Where that can always be painful. It can be very, very scary. He might not get the same dopamine rush, right? So I just want you to understand, how our mind works, and then how we as humans operate as well, and how those things come together so that way we can begin to operate in this reality that we live in. And a really quick and easy way to show you this is, I want you to look at these two sets of food. Ask yourself, would you rather have brownies, soda, and, chicken, or would you rather have vegetables, water, and granola? I can almost guarantee you, I know myself, I'm gonna eat some brownies at a bare minimum, eat some chicken for sure. If I really had the choice, but I know that in the long run, if I'm eating more vegetables, if I'm drinking water, if I'm eating granola, whatever the case may be, I'm probably gonna be healthier. So right away, you can see what the difference between these ones and the zeros. And sometimes, and this is where I'm getting to, your goals are going to be looking like the vegetables, the water, and the granola versus the brownies, the brownies, the soda, and the fried foods, right? Sometimes your goals are not going to look fun. Sometimes you're just like not going to want to be doing this whatsoever. You're going to find excuses to not go ahead and pursue whatever you need to pursue to actually level yourself up. So the key really is being able to understand the difference between these two things in life, and then being able to choose what you need to do because it's going to benefit you in the long run. So this brings us into now elevating your habits. And really what this comes down to is just removing the deteriorating habits that do not serve your goals. So the things that you know it's just not going to help. Like it's just not going to help your goal setting. It's not going to help you in life. Pretty much just removing these things as much as you possibly can, and then inserting accelerating habits that do serve your goals. So doing more of the things that you know you need to do in order to level up, and really just repeating this cycle until your mind begins to accept this new reality, until your mind, your ego, who you think you are, begins to accept that, hey, I'm going to be continuously leveling up, trying to hit my goals, whatever the case may be. This is how you begin to mold and shape who you think you are. And to really drive this point home and why this is important is, imagine that this is your energy. The circle is your energy. And your energy is very finite, right? Like you already know, like when you wake up, you usually feel pretty alert. And then towards the end of the day, you just don't want to do anything at all. This is natural. This always happens. And I'd honestly say that we probably have, 4 hours in a day where we're at our peak mentally, where we're able to crush anything without any stimulants or whatever the case may be. If you maybe you drink coffee or whatever, you can get a good 4 hours in where you're just deep in your work, in your pocket. You could do whatever you want. You almost feel unstoppable. But understand that that type of energy is very, very finite. So you can imagine if you're trying to use your willpower energy to do a bunch of different things at a bunch of different times. Say, this line right here, and these lines represent, where your energy is going. Say this line right here is playing video games. This line right here is, going out and drinking, whatever the case may be. But this line right here is working out, and then this line is eating healthy. Even if you do work out, even if you do eat healthy, you're also doing as much as, sitting around, and then you're also, not eating too well, in the same amount of energy expended. So what pretty much happens is you're not going anywhere. Like the lines are just going to be the same distance from your energy. You're going to be using the same amount of energy over and over again. But one thing is never going to pick up like you think you would like it to do so, right? Versus if you remove a lot of the stuff that's not really necessary for your goals, and this does not need to be forever, but understand that if you remove the stuff that's not necessary to aid your goals, and you really focus on your one main thing, and then have fun in life, do what you got to do, and then see how that can also drive into your main thing. This is where you'll get the most amount of growth in life. This is where you can get the most amount of output in whatever goals that you have in your mind. So this is a very, very key lesson to learn. And just to recap, understand that if you're going to put your energy in 10 different places, it's going to be tough to go anywhere. Versus if you put your energy in 1 to 2 places, you can pick up a lot more distance, a lot faster with a lot more efficiency. So now let's talk about clearing your vision. So what we're going to get now into is actually setting out your goals. We're going to be doing a 10-year goal, 1-year goal, and 3-month goals. And then we're going to be talking about aligning your actions to your ideal self again, and then how to develop an unwavering habit towards your goals and staying consistent with that. So this is where we get into being real clear on exactly what we want to achieve. So I want you to understand this before we get into it. If you don't have an objective in life, somebody else will define it for you. This is just how things are. And then when that happens, letting this happen leaves you living in a big subconscious contradiction. You'll always second guess yourself. You're going to lack certain confidence in things, and that's because somebody else is controlling that character for you, controlling yourself. So you want to have as much control within yourself as possible, so that way you can do and live life to its fullest potential. So we're now going to go into the goal set book again, so that way we can go ahead and build out these genuine goals, create these timelines, and acknowledge exactly what needs to happen in order to do this. So let's get right into it. So we're back here in the goal set book, and you should have already gone through and did the manifesto where you write out your ideal self, what you want for your life, what you're interested in, and where you see yourself going. This again is your big picture vision of life and what you actually want. So now it's time to map out these goals and put some time behind it and hold yourself accountable. So first, you're going to want to start off with your 10-year goals. And this can be, relatively broad. These 10-year goals can align more with your manifesto. Your 10-year goals should almost feel unreachable to some capacity, and that's actually a good thing, because that means you will try to some point push yourself to achieve these things. So first things first, go ahead and write down your wealth goals in life. This can be, monetary. Are you building a business? Or where are you in your career? What are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to have homes? Whatever the case may be, write this down. Next, you want to look at your relationship goals and seeing are you married or do you have kids? What's your family looking like? Have you made amends with old friends, family members? What kind of goals, what kind of relationships do you want to have in life? What kind of friends do you want to have? Who do you want to be around? Write all of this out. Then we have our health and fitness goals, and this is going to be crucial as well. You want to keep yourself accountable and keep yourself as healthy as possible. Health is wealth at the end of the day. So make sure you're writing these things down. Do you want to eat healthier? Do you want to try a new sort of diet? How often do you want to be working out? What does your body look like? Things of that nature, and really be honest with yourself there. Then personal and behavior goals. So are you trying to quit an old habit that you had for X amount of years? Are you trying to change something about, the way you approach people? Are you trying to grow your confidence? Are you trying to, maybe improve your skin complexion? Things of that nature. Write all of these things down. And then lastly, hold yourself to some unquestionable standards. So, make sure you're being honest with yourself, make sure you have integrity. Write down the standards that you will hold yourself to no matter what, so that way you know within yourself, hey, I'm not messing around. I'm staying on this. You're holding yourself accountable. You're staying confident in yourself. So yeah, this is the structure for your goals, and it's relatively simple. I'd argue that these are the main components of life in general. So those are for your 10-year goals, and then you're going to want to do the same thing for your 1-year goals, and then your 3-month goals. So your 1-year goals, understand it's going to now be a little bit more actionable. When you're looking just at a 10-year goal, it can feel a little bit far-fetched. So that's why you want to break this down into 1 year, which really isn't as much time as we think. So you can do a lot more within here and make these a little bit more relevant to where you're currently at. So, say with your wealth goals, and maybe you started up a business this year, right? Within 1 year, where do you see yourself in that business? What kind of products are you building? What do your customers look like? Maybe you're in school. Are you on this 1 year degree program, master's? And where do you see your work? Where do you see yourself working at afterwards? So your 1 year goals are definitely going to be a lot more actionable and very much more near term. And then your 3-month goals, these are the things that you can accomplish, I argue, in 1 month, right? Like the 3-month goals they give you enough time, enough leeway to really try to achieve your dreams, achieve your goals, and start to check off your boxes and work towards your big 1-year goal. So your 3-month goal should really align with your 1-year goal in terms of being a lot more actionable. So let's go back to our 1-year goal and say, we started a business and we want to have a good income and start to support ourselves, right? Well, if we go down to our 3-month goals, we need to go ahead and write, okay, make sure we build a great product. Make sure we have our systems up correctly. These could be your 3-month goals. So it's really just a breakdown of what that 1 year is. So once you have your manifesto and you know who you want to become in life, what you're trying to achieve, you have all of your goals written out in terms of 10-year, 1 year, and 3 month. This is pretty much what you need to just picture out your life. The rest is just now going to come into the habit of doing these actions over and over and over again in order to achieve these goals. And over the span of time, though, your results will just start to compound and you'll start to get closer to exactly what you want in life. So I'll see you in the next lesson.